All right. Well, top of the morning to everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for today's presentation. My name is Matt Alina, and I am the Life Markets Manager here at URL. And today we're going to be talking about how to boost your book, which is generating exclusive leads. Now, if you've been tuning into our webinar series, we've been doing a lot of different presentations about boosting your book. And that's because there's been a shift in the life market space, Medicare, annuity space, and it's an opportunity. Um, it's an opportunity to um, it's an these boost your book uh, webinars is an opportunity for you to discover other ways to grow your book of business. So today we're going to be talking about generating exclusive leads. What are exclusive leads? If you've dealt with some of the lead vendors that are out there, a lot of times when you get what you pay for, and you will find that when you're purchasing leads, you sometimes are getting leads that have been resold, redistributed, and they've already been worked, or it's a lead that's being distributed to numerous agents, your competitors, people that are kind of working the same territory. So, what are exclusive leads? This is where the prospect contact information is provided only to you, to one agent or one agency to distribute to its sales team. Leads are never resold and they're never redistributed. Now, if you're working with an organization that is providing you with quote unquote free leads, then yes, they may be reselling them to you or redistributing them. Here at URL, we get ourselves out of the middle of lead distribution. We want you to work directly with the lead company where it is the two of you working, collaborating to get the leads, and they will distribute those leads directly to you. With the exclusivity that you get with exclusive leads, it increases your likelihood of turning these prospects into clients. So, what are some of the benefits of exclusive leads? When you look at it, if you're dedicating a budget to leads, you're going to find that you're going to get a better return on investment. So you're on your expenses. You're going to get a higher conversion rate. Remember, a lead is a lead. It is somebody to contact, somebody that is showing some interest in the product or service that you're providing. So you have a higher conversion rate. It's also a cheaper business acquisition. When you're talking about client acquisition, business acquisition costs, breaking it down with exclusive leads, it will break down to being cheaper. Yeah, you can get some resold um, or cheaper leads, but you may be buying more leads to be able to fill that funnel. And it also, by getting exclusive leads, you have improved client engagement. And today we're going to be talking with some lead experts here very soon. But one of the things that I'm going to tell you is that I'm going to do something out of the norm. Normally, you're going to hear me talking about how this is going to increase your sales for final expense. But believe it or not, our guests today, they specialize in more than just leads for final expense. So best practices is to select a reputable lead provider. Insurance Marketing Hub, who is our guest today, they are a reputable lead provider. We've been working with Insurance Marketing Hub for, I'm going to guess, somewhere between 7-8 years. And my fault is that I've only leaned on them for final expense leads. And I have seen, and I've just realized that they do a heck of a lot more. They provide a great CRM lead management system so that you can track your leads, you can track your progress. You're able to, some of the other best practices when you're working with Insurance Marketing Hub is treat the costs for your leads as a business expense. And then continually evaluate lead quality, and return on investment. And the great thing about Insurance Marketing Hub is that they're watching your lead returns to make sure you're getting and maximizing your return on investment. So at this point, I'm going to step aside and I want to introduce you to the owner and CEO of Insurance Marketing Hub, Cindy Seal, as well as Chase Tollison, who works with the URL account specifically. And I'd like to welcome Cindy and Chase. Good morning. Let me load your slides here, and I will let you take it away. So good morning,
all right,
Cindy and Chase.
Thank you. And I apologize, my camera was working all last night and yesterday when I practiced this, but for some reason it is decided that it does not want you guys to see my face today. So you get to look at Chase's handsome face while I talk. And if it comes back on, I will be happy to join, but for some reason it's just not working. But Matt is correct. We've been working with Matt and the URL team since 2017, I believe, and have primarily focused on final expense. But today we're going to share with you everything that we do in the event that there's something that you could be looking for. So I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm glad to meet everyone. Let me jump right in. And if anybody has questions, please feel free to interrupt. I'm happy to take questions throughout, or if you want to wait till the end, that's fine too. A little bit about what our beliefs are. When I founded this company back in 2017, the mission was I wanted to help agencies grow. I wanted to help IMOs, agents achieve their sales goals. And the thought process in doing that is I wanted to use our data analytics experience, all the data sources that we have, because we use 3 different data sources to get the best possible and most possible data we can. And I wanted to build a team of consultants who could work with agencies and IMOs to try to get the best possible response rates we could get for them. And we started with 2 of us, and now there's 11 of us on staff. We partner with IMOs, carriers, agencies, all the way down to the agent level. And we work with them to drive their sales through lead gen. When we work with IMOs, we'll even get into the lead consultation standpoint, is really teaching them how to run a lead program for their agents. When we're working with agents specifically, we focus on what do they want to get out of lead gen? You know, what's their best channel for marketing? Is it direct mail? Is it multi-channel? Is it digital? And we do that through both life, health, and new to us is the wealth area. That's our lead gen, and also recruitment campaigns. And I'm going to jump into each one of these a little bit in detail. And again, if you've got questions, you can stop me at any point. So the difference between IMH and other lead companies. My background was in the cost per lead world, so the CPL world. And what I really, really loved about a CPL is the data and analytics side to be able to get good response rates. What I didn't like about the CPL side is that the vendor is making decisions behind the scenes on lead wording, the data that's being used, the data selects that are being selected, and it wasn't transparent to the agency or agent. So what you end up with is, yeah, you can get a cheap lead, but it may not be the best for your acquisition or the best for your type of business if you're cross-selling. So when I started the business, I said, I want to use the data and analytics, but I want to sell on a cost per thousand so that I can be completely transparent about the changes that you can make in your lead program that can lower prices or create better acquisition costs. So I do the same data modeling, the same business, acumen and industry knowledge versus that a CPL company uses, but it's not a spray and pray. When you look at other cost per thousand companies, they just buy data and mail everything. We don't do that. We score all of our data. We have a data model. We always start with models first because that can be the best response rate. It's a computer algorithm that selects the data. And then we go down to our scored data. There's a group 4 data that I don't even touch for final expense because I know it's not going to perform well, and it pulls down response rates. So difference between, the spray and pray type of companies, they'll mail everything. We're very select in how we try to mail. And then the difference between us and a CPL company is we tell you, okay, if you want a better quality lead, this is what you do in a lead card. If you want a cheaper lead, this is what you can do in a lead card. And same thing with data. So that's the difference. Very transparent about what you can do to improve or lessen the cost of your leads. All right, so why would you choose us? This is biased, obviously. I think we have an incredible team, and I'll show you, our team and everything. Chase is a wonderful guy. He is very helpful. He is the representative for the URL team. He's very consultative. He'll understand what you're trying to do, and he'll work with you to get what you're looking for. We have a whole team of seasoned direct mail experts, but new is we are building a digital team as well. We've just hired a new digital person, Ashley, our marketing director. Her primary focus right now is on digital. We're looking at not digital separate from direct mail, but how do they work together? Earlier was mentioned our lead management system. We do have a really good lead management system that I'm going to go into in just a few minutes. And then Chase, when you were reaching out to Chase, he's very responsive. So if you really want some information you want to get with him, he will be very responsive to your needs. And I know he comes to your conferences, and he's there for you for that as well. I'm going to talk a little bit about direct mail, and I call it direct mail plus because a lot of our direct mail now is not just standalone direct mail. We've integrated a lot of new features that we do, and we're still innovating. So I want to talk to you about some of the things that we're doing. So direct mail has always been, and probably always will be, the hub of what we do. But we've got programs that integrate digital campaigns, and then we have digital campaigns that are standalone campaigns. We often can use landing pages, and we'll use calls. And I'm going to go through how we use these things and how we use them with direct mail by product. So final expense is by far our largest part of our portfolio, as you can see by this grid. So we offer exclusive final expense leads. When we generate them for you, they are yours. We do not resell leads. We do not have B leads. Whatever is generated for you is delivered to you. And it's not like a lot of vendors will say, we'll deliver leads over the 8 weeks and then we cut it off. If a lead comes in for you for a year from now, we will still deliver it to you. So whatever comes in, and we do get leads coming in, coffee stains, food stains on them that are, a year to 2 years old even. But with our final expense leads, we do have a very sophisticated data modeling process to target the ideal customers. If we know you're cross-selling, our model can go up to incomes up to 100,000 and still produce for final expense. So if we know you're cross-selling using a final expense lead for a Medicare lead, or you're using a final expense lead for an annuity lead, then the model is very helpful for cross-selling. We do about 30 million pieces of mail annually, and about 360 to 400,000 leads are generated annually. We also have very transparent reporting that we do. The way that we do final expense leads, you can have a direct mail with a mail back. One of the new things that we have started is using an IVR. An IVR is an interactive voice response system. So you mail a postcard out, and you get the consumer has a little code on their postcard, and it has a number to call. They call the number, they enter their code, that lead information is captured at that point. They are read some details about what final expense is, and then they're asked a series of questions. They enter their phone number, and that information is then immediately texted to the agent. And also that information is uploaded to their lead platform. So it is a real good way to get a speed to lead with a final expense direct mail, because it goes out first class and then it returns usually within 3 to 4 days of when the mail has hit. Pros and cons. A direct mail mailback is usually the highest quality. A direct mail IVR, we have different cards we can use. The one that gets the best response rate is a more vague lead. Every lead that hits the IVR is sent to you. So whether they answered any of the questions or all the questions, you will get those leads. When they answer all the questions, it's going to be a very highly qualified lead. If they just entered their PIN and then heard the message and hung up, it'll still be given to you, but it's going to be a less qualified lead. So on the IVRs, we tell people, really experienced agents who are used to selling final expense and can do it by phone, that's the best way to use an IVR. A newbie agent, that's not the right platform for them, just because it's a much more aggressive sales technique on that. We can use a much more detailed card similar to what is being mailed on the direct mail mailback, but response rates, you don't see a peak in that. It's just a speed to market benefit versus a peak in response rate and speed to market. But all of that is flexible, and we can use it to, whichever level of detail the agent wants to work it. And Chase is very knowledgeable on that if an agent wants to speak to them on that. So that's our final expense side. So we are doing a deal right now for URL between now and the end of the year. Current rate is $630 per thousand for final expense and for Medicare, usually a $10 upcharge on Medicare T65. We're doing a $25 off deal for all URL agents between now and the end of the year. So all you have to do is tell Chase when you call him or talk to him URL 25, and you'll get that discount. And it's all at the rate of, what did I say? $25 off. And we're not charging $635 or $640 for T65. They're all at the $630 rate minus the $25. So the Medicare side of things. Medicare, we do Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage, and turning 65. Most everything we do is a high intent mailback for Medicare. We can do IVR leads for Medicare, so it would be the same type of system where we'd mail a postcard out and a call would come back in. The consumer is answering questions, the lead's texted to the agent for a callback. We are working on an IVR with a direct transfer. That is going to be our new thing that will be coming out soon, is to be able to do a direct transfer. We haven't had a lot of demand for a live transfer lead because most of the IVR work we've done has been in mortgage protection and final expense, and agents haven't wanted the call coming directly to them. They wanted to do the call back, but we are going to work on that capability so we can do a live transfer for any program that if an agent wants the live transfer. We also do, one of our new things that we're doing now is seminars. So we're doing complete turnkey seminar packages for Medicare and estate planning, which I'll get into next. And then one of the things that we're still working with some partners on is to offer some inbound calls. Right now, the inbound calls will be through the IVR, but we are looking for other partners who can drive inbound calls with us for Medicare. I don't think that will be ready for this AEP, but hopefully by next year, we'll have the inbound call thing wrapped up. Okay. Mortgage protection. I'm not sure if any of you are interested at all in the mortgage protection, but we've been doing mortgage protection for about the same amount of time we've been doing final expense. It's always been a mailback in the past, and we have a fresh data feed that comes in that is refis and new home purchases for that week. So it's all super fresh data. It's not months and months old. We can do retro data, and we can go back, I think, up to 5 years on retro data to mail mortgage. We mail daily and weekly, depending on the volumes that we have. And then the hottest thing on the mortgage protection right now is IVR. Very few people are doing mailbacks on mortgage. Most people are doing IVR. And IVR works really well with fresh data and retro data. That's one of the big differences. On a mailback, retro data is not as effective, but on an IVR, retro data is very effective and is a lot cheaper than fresh data. So that particular program is subscription-based and it's exclusive. So you choose the state and counties in which you want to mail on a weekly basis. And then whatever data is there that week is what is mailed. And it's very variable based on how many refis and how many new houses are sold. So you would talk to Chase to see what availability there was in a state. He would give you the availability. He would tell you what historic response rates have been. He would talk to you about response rates on a mailback versus an IVR. And then once you subscribe, it's just he's confirming with you each week that you still want to keep those counties and those states. And then we mail it. So it's very much just a, yep, we're still going, yep, or no, I want to make this change. There is no contract on that, so you can stop it at any time. But if you've stopped for 2 weeks, then your territory is lifted and it's available for someone else. But it is a very exclusive program and does quite well for folks. The next piece of the IVR I was going to mention is that when you mail on an IVR, you're going to get returns 3 to 5 days from the mail date. So that's way faster than a mailback will be, because sometimes you're waiting, 4 weeks to get your first lead. And depending where we're mailing, we've seen leads come back as early as 2 days, especially if we're mailing in Georgia. I mean, if the lead is in Georgia, because we mail from Georgia. So even coming from West Coast, we'll get them, within 5 to 6 days of when we mailed. It is real-time SMS alerts. So if they just completed the lead and you call them, the chances of you reaching them is pretty high. And I mentioned earlier, a real generic IVR has super high yields. We've seen as high as 4% response rates. The average response rate on an IVR for mortgage protection is about 1.5 on average. And it can range, some areas are getting 2s, 3s, 4s, but the average is about 1.5. So if you get in about a 1.5, that would be what I would think is expected. And anything above that is just gravy for you at that point. So that's the high yield one. We do a high intent and a hybrid option. High intent lead is where the very similar information that was mailed on a mailback card would be the same information that is on the IVR card. Response rates on a mailback and a high intent IVR are about the same. And I think the average is about a 0.7 on that. So you can see you get a dip in response rate the more high intent the language is. And the hybrid option is just what it sounds like. It's not as vague as the high yield. It's not as, in your face as the high intent lead. And it gets a response rate that's sort of in between the two of those. Okay. So the new area that we've been working in the last year is wealth and legacy. We started this in the way of seminars, and it's really a way to go after the annuity lead. So we've been doing retirement planning and wills and trusts seminars. And the concept behind this is we have 3 different programs. We have a 6,000 piece mailing plus digital campaign. We have a smaller one that is 4,000 with a smaller digital package. And then we have a digital only package. So those are the 3 seminar packages that we offer for retirement planning. It's targeting the affluent and high net worth people. we target on net worth of 500,000 plus, or income producing assets of 100,000 plus. So it's definitely a way higher income bracket than what we use for our other products. The direct mail targeting is very precise. We know exactly what the assets of the person that we're marketing to are. The digital marketing is less precise because Facebook doesn't allow you to get into someone's income or net worth when you're doing digital marketing. But we will often use lookalike audiences for taking our direct mail lists and trying to emulate that with our digital targeting. The seminars are completely turnkey. We will do everything from, we gather the information from you. The actual presentation needs to be your own. We don't do the presentation for you. So if you've got a presentation, we'll build the marketing around that. It is a high quality looking invitation. It's colored, it's heavier cardstock. It's mailed in a linen envelope addressed to the person. And then the consumer can RSVP either through an IVR, so they'll call in and answer questions to get themselves registered, or they'll go to a landing page and register. And then we do a confirmation. We do a reminder 1 week out. We do a reminder the day before. We produce the sign-in checklists. And then we track performance with we provide the agent with a Google Sheet that has all the participants' information, and it has a bunch of things where you can disposition what's happening with that lead. And at the end of the seminar, we'll do a complete report on performance for the agent. And then we do a 3-touch drip campaign to anyone who didn't attend or who no-showed or whatever, or they didn't book an appointment with the agent. So we'll do a 3-touch drip campaign, driving them back to the agent to set up an appointment to do some retirement planning, estate planning, or wills and trusts. And then we provide, and that information goes directly to the agent. So that's fairly new to us. That same process of what I just described for how a seminar works is exactly what we would do for Medicare seminars as well. It's completely turnkey. And then the last thing on wealth and legacy that we're currently working on is, since we've gathered all this data on who's interested in wills and trusts and retirement planning, we're taking that data and modeling it so that we can try to create a digital IUL or a digital annuity lead. And those are the things that we are currently testing right now to see if we can produce a lower cost, good quality lead in those areas. So once we feel like we've got that tweaked, we'll be rolling that product out as well. And then I've pretty much covered all this, everything that we do with our turnkey programs. Just to give you an idea on our retirement planning, what we see in seminars, we talk about buying units. When someone registered, that registration is considered a buying unit, whether they bring one person, 2 people, 3 people. It's just a buying unit. A family is what we consider a buying unit. So on average, when we do a seminar, there are about 108 buying units registered. And an event is actually, could be 3 to 5 dates and times within that one event that we're marketing. So the total is about 108 buying units per registered event. When we look at attendance, who comes and stuff like that, when someone registers through direct mail, the show rate on a direct mail is way higher. It's in the 70%-ish of people will show. On a digital, you'll get a lot more people registering for digital, and usually it's single versus a double registration. But they're less likely to show. Digital can be much more wishy-washy, as I'm sure many of you have experienced if you've been running leads. Doesn't mean that the quality isn't good once you get them in the room. It's just their show rate is more like 30% compared to like 70% for direct mail. So that is why we do that combined marketing for an event like this. And then of those that show up, a lot of our clients will do sort of an inventory of assets in the room. And about 80% of the people that show up will turn in an asset inventory so that you can see what type of income and what type of investments they have. And then about 70% will request appointments right on the spot. Like, hey, I want to get my free appointment to book with you. Right on the spot, 70% will book. And the average direct mail attendee, and the reason I say direct mail attendee is because we can buy that information on the direct mail registrations, but about the average person has about 700,000 in income producing assets. So it's a good quality person in the room for direct mail. Right now, we don't really know what that is on our digital. We can append it after the fact to get that average, and that's what we're doing right now. But for direct mail, it is about 700,000 on average. And lastly, one of the things that we do is agent recruiting. So if a IMO or an agent is looking to grow their team, we will do custom recruiting programs. We can do like a couple that we have running right now. I have an agent who's looking to recruit real estate agents. She was a real estate agent, so she's appealing to that group. And with the market being the way it is, a lot of them aren't making the money they used to, so she's bringing them into the insurance fold. I have another agent who's targeting females who want mentorship and want to grow in the insurance industry. And then we have another one who was going after school teachers. So we can do very customized, or we can do something more generic where you just say, I don't care whether they're licensed or unlicensed. I just want someone who's interested. And you can say, this is the profile that I'm looking for, this age group, this type of personality. And we can build campaigns to meet your needs. Those are done on a campaign basis. So it's usually quarterly is the minimum that we'll typically do. So we'll run a campaign for 3 months, and there'll be a flat fee that you'll pay for it. Ashley, our marketing CMO, she will work with you to understand what you're looking for, and she'll give you an estimate on what your cost per lead for your particular recruitment campaign would be. We're currently running some like more generic where someone's looking for a licensed and unlicensed people. So they have a very broad scope of what they're looking for. And those leads are running around $8 to $12, per lead. And it's when we consider it a lead, it is someone who said, hey, I'm interested and I want to talk to them. We're trying to get demographics or some statistics on the appointment rates and the close rates once they do say they're interested. But most of our agents are still in the process of recruiting right now, so we don't have those statistics yet. But if that's something that you're looking for, Chase can always get you introduced to Ashley and get you set up for that. And then Matt talked about the lead management platform. We have a lead management platform that is free for anyone to use that is, purchasing leads from us. It allows you to disposition your leads. You can print your leads. You can use the CRM aspect of it if you want. We are in the process of updating it because we're building a seminar module that'll go with the CRM to allow you to track your seminar participants separate than your other leads, but to also see them combined. And we expect that platform will be ready sometime mid next year, mid 26. And then the thing I think that makes IMH different is the partnership. We work with your IMO, we work with Matt, we work with Steve to try to figure out what is the best thing we can do to support you guys. Matt has agents coming direct to us. Sometimes he'll place orders to us. So anyway, Matt wants to work with us, we'll find a way to make that happen for you guys. And then lastly, I just wanted to share, this is our team right now. It's minus one person, our digital person we just hired. But, Chase and Eric, this is Eric, Chase, they work with me in the sales department area. Ashley's our CMO. Lauren works with us in marketing as well. She's very involved in the seminar aspect. All the guys back here, this is John, Michael, Daniel, and Kevin. They all work on the data side of things, and Cheryl is our accountant. So that is our lovely team. And that's all I have for you guys. Be happy to take questions if anybody has questions.
Yeah, Cindy, great information. And I have to apologize. I did not realize that you guys have evolved into so much more. And like I said at the beginning of the presentation, we've always leaned on you for final expense. And I remember talking, and we also did agent recruitment with Ashley, and the turnaround or the response was incredible for one of our agents years ago. And it really does put a lot of people in front of you. If you're looking to recruit some qualified individuals, they do a fantastic recruiting campaign. Working with Ashley, she was phenomenal. I took about a page worth of notes, and because I did not realize, like, I knew you guys did mortgage, I didn't know, and I knew you guys did Medicare, but to the extent that you guys have is just incredible. So first and foremost, before I jump into some of the things to recap, Insurance Marketing Hub, they take a consultative approach, which means before you spend dollar number one, have a phone call with Chase. He is going to be able to pull up data so that you are not just throwing money against the wall, kind of like the spray and pray method that Cindy mentioned. He is going to make sure that you're maximizing your return on your investment. Leads are an investment. You should be treating them as an operating expense, just like you spend money to keep the lights on for utilities. It's a business expense. The other thing to point out is that the leads that you get for final expense, folks, a lot of times those are going to be your Medicare clients. And for those of you who are getting ready for AEP, your Medicare clients, those Medicare leads that you get, those are going to be final expense leads after AEP. And there's other opportunities there as well, as Cindy mentioned: annuities, index universal life sales, mortgage term. There are so many opportunities out there. So a couple of things to point out as well is that what stood out was about the Wealth and Legacy program, the lead program that Insurance Marketing Hub offers. If any of you are familiar with Cody Wilbert, Cody is the manager of our Annuity Solutions team. He has an Annuity Pro Academy where it's about seminar selling. You can talk with Cody and he will definitely hook you up with that program. But part of that is getting people from the streets into the seats for these seminars and getting qualified people. And this Wealth and Legacy, Cindy and Chase, that there's a few people that come to mind that would be perfect for that. And I'll be having a conversation with Cody before the day is out, just to bring bring him to light on that. So if there
Matt, can I add one thing on that?
Yeah, please.
So it's funny because I laugh all the time and I say that program will be what puts us out of business, because it is a perpetual lead pool. The folks that come to these events, not only are they interested in retirement planning, but it ends up being an IUL, an annuity, a life insurance policy, a Medicare policy. It just feeds itself. And then the referrals off that are huge, because every single person that's in that room belongs to something. And they go, oh, can you come and do this presentation for my church? Can you come and do this presentation for it? And I want to just give you one example of what happened with one of my clients. He did a seminar out in Colorado. This younger kid was there, which he was like, oh, why are young people coming? And believe it or not, 30s and 40-year-olds are coming to retirement planning seminars. So, and because they're focused on that. Well, he sat through the presentation. He worked as a manager at an In-N-Out burger. And he said, our company talks to us all the time about having a trust, but they've never told us how to do it. So not only did he set up a trust and then had my client work with him on investments and stuff, he then brought my client into In-N-Out Burger to a corporate situation where he's doing these presentations with them. So it's been crazy how much, and you know, they end up doing a few seminars and then their business just starts to blow up.
Yeah.
So I believe that one is the one that's making my clients a lot of money right now.
That's amazing. Fantastic. If there are any questions, please, you can type your questions and we'll take those questions. I did see a question come in from Daniel. Daniel wants Chase's number and email so that he can reach out. So
I'll go ahead and send that in the chat so everyone has it, and then you guys can reach out to me at your convenience there.
Another thing that I'll point out is that Chase will be at our Medicare Connections Conference. That's going to be on September 3rd, next week in Hershey. So if you have questions, you want to introduce yourself, learn more about Insurance Marketing Hub, Chase is going to be there. And Chase and Insurance Marketing Hub have been gracious to sponsor our events. And that's why I wanted to kind of showcase Insurance Marketing Hub today, because they've been gracious enough to sponsor us. And they've really been a great support for us over the years that I wanted to let them showcase what they do and really show you that, you know, I get contacted by lead companies every day. And I just don't see the relationship that is that I love the relationship that I have. Like, I can send Chase an email and say, hey, can you please call John Smith? He has questions about leads. And I know that Chase is going to call them, and it is my hope that they will do business. Now, other thing to point out here as we kind of wrap things up is Insurance Marketing Hub is gracious enough to provide us with a discount code. So anybody that's affiliated with URL, you're going to get a discount. The other thing that I want to point out is that URL does subsidize lead costs based on your production. So if you want to learn more about our lead subsidies, please have a conversation with me. I'll be happy to share that with you. Let me put my contact information up on the screen just so you have it. And let me just go right here. So you can reach me directly. My direct contact information is 717-216-8041. That goes right into my direct phone. My email is matta@urlinsgroup.com. Now, for those of you who may be watching a recording of this presentation and you're not able to see the presentation chat, let me provide everybody Chase's direct number. Chase, his number is 757-621-0203. 757-621-0203. His email is ctollison, that is spelled C as in Charlie, TOLISON @insurancemarketinghub, all one word, .com. ctollison@insurancemarketinghub.com. And of course, if you don't have the information, I have the bat phone right into Chase, so we can get you directly into Chase as well. So
and I will say, don't hesitate to, if you've got ideas too that you want to try. We didn't talk about custom work, but we will do custom lead stuff. I will caution you that we will be very honest if we don't think it's going to perform, and we'll always encourage A/B testing against a baseline that we know performs to give you that. But we are not committed to just only running our lead. If you think you've got something better, sometimes it'll be, can we do that particular format? But as far as language and stuff goes, we'll work with you on it. But we will always advise you if we think it's not going to pull well.
Yep. All right. I appreciate everybody's time. Cindy, it's great to talk to you and see you again. Chase, I'll see you next week at the Medicare Connections Conference. Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
everybody in the audience. Thank you for your time and attendance today. I hope that for those of you who are going to be at the Medicare conference, pull me aside, say hello. I'd like to meet you and learn a little bit about you and what you do. And again, if you have any questions, comments, whatever, you can always reach me, 717-216-8041 or Matt A at urlinsgroup.com. So that is the wrap up of our Boost Your Book campaign. This was our presentation on generating exclusive leads. I hope you all got some great information out of it. Please consider doing business with Insurance Marketing Hub. I promise you that they are going to give you the best return on your investment, and they really want to have a relationship with you. So until next time, make it a great day. Have a great week, everybody. And thank you very much for your business. Have a great day.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.